So our group is discussing till versus no-till, and this is Trevor, Kendra, Caleb, and Shantel.
Alrighty. So, Trevor, might as well lead us off in this grand escapage.
Yeah, so topic versus till versus no-till. I believe it just kind of depends on the field and where you're at in the state / country, what you kind of need to do. Because there's both disadvantages and advantages, so I'm in between on it, but I would probably lean a little bit more towards no-till, just because new evidence I've heard kind of gets me a little skeptical about tillage.
I agree.
I'm the other way around. I like till. I don't know. That's just what I was raised up with, and that's what we've always done.
Let's see, you're from Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because then, myself and Trevor are from central South Dakota. We don't get nearly the rain like you guys do. For you guys, tillage is amazing. I mean, dries your fields out faster. You'll be able to get in the fields faster. Well, back home, if we do that, we may not get rain for a month and a half like we saw this spring.
2 months.
Or 2 months, if
Like
not
2
more.
months.
We didn't get rain for about 2 months either there, and then we got a bunch of rain. So
Yeah, I mean, that's the location's the biggest thing. Back home, we use no-till to help hold soil moisture in the ground and helps raise our organic matter also. Since our soil is not nearly as good as your guys' is.
What do you mean by not near as good, nutrients-wise?
Nutrients-wise, just the soil structure. Just even going from central South Dakota over here to Watertown, the soil is completely 180-degree flipped.
Now in Minnesota, is it sandy up there, or is it more clay?
I'd probably say more clay. More of a clay soil.
I don't know. I have nothing to do with fields.
So with that being said, then I'm assuming you're on the livestock side of things.
Yeah, I take care of the cattle.
Okay, do you graze your corn stalks at all, or?
No, we just have fat cattle. We keep them in the pasture and then we move them back. We just moved them back about a month ago
Okay.
into the dry lot. So
Sure.
So Austin, you're from Minnesota too, and you're on farm also. So like, what do you guys use? in
Well,
your
we
place?
we do no-till, but I feel like, or we till, but I feel like where me and her from, it's everyone's doing no-till for so long, and it's so hard to make a change, and I just feel like
Wait, everyone's doing till?
yeah,
You said
everyone's
no-till.
tilling.
You said no-till again.
Oh, okay. Well, everyone tills, and it's just hard for farmers to make a switch because it's all about what's gonna give you the most profit at the end of the day.
it's about, it's tradition. All the old guys, they don't want to change up what they're doing because they know it works.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about no-till, if you look at it this way, it's less passes across the field. You save less maintenance costs, fuel costs. You save nutrients in the soil doing it that way.
Yeah, but then you also look at, you got more weeds growing in the field and you have to spray them, which is more driving on the field. So
Say, Trevor,
money
you
too.
worked for Wilbur Ellis this summer, correct?
Yep.
What is your guys for applicator costs? Do you know? off the top of
Oh,
your
I
head?
don't know, but I can tell you it's a lot. Out there, like just running, there's like a 2 mile by mile field that we had to spray, and just the cost from like, the applicator and then the acre bonus and then the fertilizer was just ridiculous. I don't remember the exact price, but I heard that and like I was going nuts because it was.
Yeah. Had kids trying to had almost a brief intermission, but we got it taken care of. But let's see, because then you guys are more just soybeans and corn, correct?
and we do wheat too.
Excuse me. Really?
So we talk about disadvantages as in lack of nutrients, compaction, more leaching, loss of moisture, stuff like that when we till, right? So would you say that in our area we have more disadvantages to till as they do in their area?
back home, Central South
Yeah.
Dakota, or
I'd say in South Dakota, just in general, kind of more
Have
west.
more disadvantages.
Yeah, they benefit more from the no-till than we do.
Just from the lack of moisture, it seems like it just makes a huge difference because they can till and they still get so much rain, you know, every year. I have cousins that used to farm over there, but they sold out, but they got tons of rain. Like there's times when they couldn't even get into the field to harvest. Like some people are having them right there right now, right?
We are.
Yeah. So you guys, I mean, the rain is definitely a big factor. So
Yeah, we just got in our fields last week, and there's still water sitting in our cornfields.
yeah,
really, see, we're combining corn back home.
yeah, we've been dried out for
May.
way too long. May, yeah, pretty much.
I think we're up to about 15 inches of rain since the first of the year. That's
And they're probably at 50.
yeah.
That's a little exaggerated, but
Well, that
25
one weekend
probably.
we got, I think, 6 inches just on Saturday night.
That'd be a rough life.
what town are you from?
Canby.
Yep, that's where my grandpa and grandma live. So that makes
See,
sense
that-
because he said that.
That'd be your mom or your dad's
My,
side?
my mom's.
Mom's side.
How far are you two apart?
20 miles.
Yeah.
That's right.
What do we?
Canby's only like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
If you
that
drive fast, it's 45.
Well, yeah, South Dakota speed limits.
Yeah.
If you
From
live in Minnesota.
where? From here?
Yeah,
Yeah, from Watertown.
No way.
yeah, we're pretty close to the border.
Yep.
So it makes sense how the soil's kind of the same from here to over there. So
Yeah.
What would you guys say? I think we might have touched on this earlier, but I just want to clarify some of the advantages of tillage. With tilling, I guess.
advantages of tilling?
Advantages of tilling for Minnesotans.
Oh, just
Well, I'd say that like say there's a hard pan
Mm-hmm.
in the soil, and tilling you get down there farther and you kind of like fluff up the soil, and well, if you till, there's gonna be less weeds, and it also aerates the soil, so.
Have you guys ever thought about switching up your crop rotations besides just corn, wheat, and beans? To maybe throw sunflowers in there or put a cover crop?
There's fields of sunflowers out by me. There's a field by Cammy. I think there's 2 of them, but we don't have enough time to take off the crop because right now we're not even done harvesting beans,
Yeah,
and it's already getting cold. We've already had our first frost over there.
not the freeze. The growing season is a lot longer over there. I feel so.
So what's your thought on cover crops? Do you like over here? We use where I'm from, so east wise, we use cover crops to prevent the hard pans and prevent loss of organic matter. But over there, you guys have more nutrients. So do you think that using cover crops over there is even worth anything?
I think it really depends on the field. Like, if say you have like a high salt level field, and cover crops like turnips or something could decrease the amount of salt in the field. And like Kendra said, like we get so much rain that it's so hard to get into the field, like as in you guys do. So
It's hard to get in the field to take the first crop off.
yeah.
It'd be even harder to get the second crop in. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so by the time you get that, it has a higher chance of freezing and going dormant in the soil. So
Yeah. I don't know. My personal opinion, I think cover crops are a waste of money. It's extra money you're spending that they're just rotting in the soil. I mean, yeah, it could improve your soil, but there's other things you can do that don't cost as much.
that'd be in our area.
Yeah.
In our area.
So you say that for your area. What about our area? What's your opinion on that?
I'd probably say there's some guys that swear by them. If you have loose soil type of deal, I know people that will plant them in their cattle yards. And it's come summertime, late summer, early fall type of deal, right before they bring them in from pasture, they'll plant them in there just so it helps hold down the soil, and it helps. Losing my train of thought here. Just something for them to nibble on. Also, I've seen
Yeah.
cows that come up with a big old turnip about that big or long, or round that long type of deal, and just it works for them. It helps break, like he said, breaks up hard pans for us. But I agree with you too. With that being said, with the cost.
The only time we ever plant cover crops is if it's on a bean field, really. So, and this year was the only year we actually planted quite a lot of beans, so I don't even know if we're actually going to go through with that. But normally at our farm, we just leave this, corn stalks, sunflower stalks, and then the wheat straw, and we just leave that for the organic matter, and to prevent erosion and stuff like that.
Catch
just
the
don't
snow.
catch the snow and do all that. And then sometimes we do graze the few cattle that we have out on the stalks. But so I'm kind of skeptical on cover crops just because that's just how we've done it. We just left the excess junk out there. But I feel like we could utilize them more just to get better yields out of our field, especially on a year like this. If we would have had cover crops last year, our yields this year would have been way better than just
Bare minimum with the drought.
No kidding. It's pretty opinionated topic, So
A lot of it is sorry to interrupt you, Trevor.
no,
Just like what we've been discussing the last 10-15 minutes is two people that are 200 miles east of us compared to 200 miles west, just that big of a difference in the climate, the weather, the soil, and just farming techniques. It's
And like out by you guys probably have a lot more cattle out there, so you have you put them on the fields, whereas us, we just have dry lots, and we don't put them on the field. So
yeah, you don't see those a lot west of here at all.
So technically the discussion isn't till, no till, it's when should you till and when should you not till, because every situation is different.
Yep,
Yeah.
like
that's a better way to put it.
there's some of our food plots, like I told you guys before, and some of our fields. Some fields were easy enough to plant, even though they didn't turn out great. But then others, we had the down pressure all the way down. We were just trying to force the seed in there, and they were still on top. So I mean, we had to till it, and that actually turned out this year to be one of our best food plots. And one of our corn fields that we had to till up before we planted it actually turned out to be a lot better than the other ones we didn't. So and this year was a little bit different, which is kind of surprising because of the lack of moisture. But I don't know. I think it's just because more seeds got on the ground and it just, totaled up a little bit higher. So
Sure.
Yeah, like you were saying, spin off and jumping off, little side thing, but you're saying you're putting all the down pressure you can. I'm assuming you're using like a disc drill.
yeah.
Say what we use at our operation is a hoe drill. It's a shank that comes down with a point that digs into the soil. So when you have hard years like this, we're able to get the seed exactly where we need to. This year I was pulling small chunks out of the soil, but last year when we were just extremely dry, I was pulling softball size, if not bigger chunks out, and
of dirt or
of
just
dirt. Yeah.
Hard
Soil.
soil.
Hard
Sorry.
soil.
Soil.
Jim,
Oh my
wreck
God.
you right now.